Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my dear friends, my dear viewers, wherever you are watching this video from. I am Charity Munyua, and today I want to share with you my testimony of how God healed me through a prayer with a promise, just as Anna prayed in the book of 1 Samuel 1 verses 9, a prayer with a promise, and God answered our prayers. In the book of 1 Samuel 1 verses 9, it says, one day after they had finished their meal in the house of the Lord at Shiloh, Hannah got up. She was deeply distressed and she prayed bitterly. She cried bitterly to the Lord. That is according to that book. How Anna prayed. Anna was distressed and she prayed. She cried deeply to the Lord. If you read that verse from verse 1 to 10 to going down there, you'll see how Hannah prayed a prayer and told God, because Hannah was not having a child. God has kept Hannah from bearing children, and Penina was mocking her because Penina had children and Hannah was not having any child. So Hannah cried bitterly to the Lord and said and told God, if you bless me with a son, I will dedicate that son to you all the days of his life. And according to that book, God answered the prayer of Hannah and he gave him a son. And Hannah did exactly what he had promised God to do. He dedicated the son to the Lord all the days of his life. The boy Samuel was dedicated to God by a mother, just as she had promised that when God, he told God that when you give me a son, I will dedicate that son unto you. That is I want to give you a testimony of how I got healed by a prayer with a promise. I want to encourage you, my sisters and my brothers, that there is power in a prayer with a promise. There is a power in the prayer with a promise, especially when you know you will keep that promise. Don't dare pray a prayer with a promise when you know you will not fulfill the promise. You will not keep the promise that you had prayed or you had asked God for. I was sick one day. I got sick. I was sick. I got sick one day, and as I was taken to the hospital, and my friend, the sickness was not good at all. It was not good at all. While I was in hospital, I had a lot of pain, a lot of pain that made me pray a prayer with a promise to my Father, because I had known about praying with a promise, but I had not prayed a prayer with a promise before. But when I got sick, that when I remembered how Hannah prayed a prayer with a promise. The sickness I was admitted to the hospital, and I stayed in the hospital for almost 2 to 3 weeks. In the second week, that when I prayed a prayer with a promise, I told God that when you heal me, When you heal me, Lord, I will preach your gospel through singing. I will preach your gospel through singing. That was my promise with my God. Remember, Hannah prayed and told God, if you give me a son, I will dedicate that son unto you all the days of his life. And now my promise to my God was, if you heal me, if you make me come out of this hospital bed. Remember, it was my first time. I had never been admitted in the hospital again. It was my very first time to be admitted in the hospital. And that when I prayed that prayer, I told God, because I was in a lot. The pain was so yes, I was in pain. So I told God that if you heal me, I will preach your gospel. I will preach your gospel through singing, Remember those days, even I was not a singer. I didn't know even where songs comes from. I just made a promise because I knew the promise will make God heal me, so that He will see if I will feel or if I will make. I will do what I have promised. So God is faithful. God is faithful. God is faithful. He healed me. I came out of that hospital bed. I came out of that hospital with only a Panadol. I underwent an operation, and I came out of that hospital with Panadols, and even I requested for those Panadols, because God is God. God is God. God, let never joke with God. Never joke with God. Never joke with a prayer, with a promise. Never joke with the prayer, with the promise. God makes sure that He has done whatever you had promised, you had prayed for, so that He will see your faith. Then God healed me, and that is when, now after getting healed, I remembered I made a promise, and I started now regretting. Why did I do the promise? The promise I did, even I don't know how I'm going to start. Even I don't know how I will start, because I remember I was not a gospel singer before. I was not a gospel singer before. So I started praying again. Now that I am healed and I was okay, I started now praying, because I knew when I will not do if you repeat the promise, something bad will happen unto me. So I started praying again. Now that was when I prayed a lot, because I just wanted to make the promise, to purify the promise that I did. I talked with, but I told God. So I prayed honestly, and asking God how now I will preach the gospel in singing. God is faithful once again. God is faithful, because I started writing my songs. My songs in a book. God gave me once to write the songs. God made me give me once to write the songs. I wrote very many songs in my book, just writing messages. God gave me messages, and I wrote a lot of songs. Now the challenge was, how will I sing them? I didn't tell God to give me a gift of, I did promise God to preach in mouth. I told God to preach in singing. And now how will I go? how will I start singing? I don't know even where the tunes will come from. So I started praying again, telling God to give me the tunes so that I will start singing, And one day I went to the church. We were taught about the power of praising and singing, and the pastor was telling us that it is good to do your job singing, or when you are in your business, be singing. There is power in singing. As he told us, there is power in singing. So I went home with that one, the power of singing. So I went to my house. I started singing. I was in spirit. And while I was singing, remember I was singing other people's songs, then I heard as if somebody has told me, why are you singing other people's song whereas you have your own song? Go ahead and sing your songs. Because I was in spirit, I took my book and I started singing the ones that I had written. Now I started singing those ones, and my friend, the ones became a song. I was given tunes. I sang while recording. When I sing the first song, I record the tune so that it will not disappear again. I went to the second song, the tune came, I record so that it will not disappear. I went to all my songs, and that's how I started singing. That's how I got to know how I will preach, how God gave me the power to, or the gift to be a singer. So I made a promise to God. I continue praying, and God make me fulfill my promise with Him. Because if it was not because of God, I could not fulfill that promise. Because remember, I was not a singer. But God made me one. God gave me that gift, and so that I will fulfill my promise that I prayed with my friends. I want to encourage you that there is power in a prayer with a promise. There is power in a prayer of promise, with a promise, so long as you know that you will keep that promise. So long as you know you will keep that promise. Never try to do a promise knowing that you will not keep that promise. If you know you will not keep that promise, never make a prayer with a promise. But there is power in a prayer with a promise. There is power in a prayer with a promise. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I'm happy to see you watching my video. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also remember to be joining me in my live when I go live, especially in the afternoon section. I do my lives from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Kenyan time. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. If you are new here, subscribe to my YouTube channel. God bless you for now. Bye bye.